People dedicate immense amounts of time and money to the project of self-optimization. They resort to plastic surgery to carve out facial symmetry and apply digital algorithms to smooth away any remaining textures of normal life. Now, artificial intelligence allows us to sanitize what remains, eradicating every irregularity, stutter, and organic flaw from our writing, from our voices, and our visual reality. But from an objective standpoint, a state completely devoid of flaws is a mathematical concept. It does not exist in nature. Perfection has no physical form. It is only a theoretical end goal. Because physical perfection is impossible to reach, dedicating your life to approximating it requires constant, unrelenting maintenance. It guarantees a perpetual state of exhaustion and a lingering sense of failure. Even if you manage to optimize your way into a near-ideal life, you are immediately faced with the anxiety of losing it. A meticulous, perfectly tidy living room is incredibly fragile. It only takes a single speck of dust to ruin the entire room. In Buddhist philosophy, this pain is called dukkha, or dissatisfaction. It arises from clinging to a rigid fantasy. We treat life like an equation to be solved, actively resisting the messy realities of existence. But fighting the unavoidable shifting of circumstances creates more pain. The intense anxiety of modern life does not stem from our failure to achieve a flawless state. It comes from the violent, pathological rejection of our own inherent flaws. In 15th century Japan, the ruling elite signaled their wealth by hosting opulent tea ceremonies. They drank from highly expensive, symmetrical Chinese ceramics, heavily decorated and displayed under the bright illumination of a full moon. A Zen monk named Murata Shuko deliberately subverted this display of wealth by introducing damaged materials into the ritual. He replaced the costly imported goods with simple, rough, Japanese-made tools. Instead of hosting the ceremony under the blinding spotlight of a full moon, he intentionally shifted the gatherings to nights with a partial or clouded moon. This forced the elite into close contact with the transient and the broken. What we now call Wabi Sabi was born as an intentional, philosophical protest against the tyranny of flawlessness. The philosophy of Wabi Sabi breaks down into two distinct parts. Wabi refers to the simple, rough, and asymmetrical qualities found inherently in nature. Sabi refers to the visible, unavoidable touch of time on an object. It is the physical manifestation of decay, damage, and mortality. We desperately try to keep our lives perfectly still, like crystal-clear ponds. We attempt this despite the reality that human existence is constantly disrupted by the violent storms of nature. As the philosopher Alan Watts observed, the best way to clear muddy water is to leave it alone. The muddiness is not a defect, it is a natural requirement of being a pond. Wabi Sabi asks us to accept the three marks of existence, impermanence, suffering, and emptiness, as the true, unfiltered condition of the universe. Bringing this acceptance into daily life means rejecting sleek, symmetrical minimalism. It means keeping mismatched chairs, retaining a wall with a visible crack, and honoring objects that show the physical scars of use. We spend our days in highly judged, industrialized environments. Stepping out of human expectation and into organic chaos is why practices like forest bathing, simply walking slowly through the woods, offer such profound psychological relief. A forest contains zero straight lines. It operates in a constant, asymmetrical state of decay, yet it demands absolutely no external standards of perfection from its inhabitants. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius observed the same phenomenon while watching bread bake in an oven. The tops of the loaves would split open and tear under the heat, a complete inadvertence of the baking process. Yet he noted that these organic fissures had their own peculiar beauty. Nature provides profound relief because it gives us permission to drop the exhausting performance of flawlessness. It allows us to exist in our naturally decaying asymmetrical state. There is a cultural anecdote of a man who spends his entire life searching for one singular, mathematically perfect cherry blossom. He inspects thousands of branches, looking for a flower without a single tear or blemish, only to realize that the search for unblemished completeness is an illusion that blinds us to reality. The blossoms are complete because of their flaws. Their fleeting, fragile, and dying nature is exactly what gives them value. By abandoning the sterile pursuit of an idealized life and embracing our own raw, textured decay, we realize a quiet truth. With all our messy imperfections, we have always been perfectly human.